Good evening and welcome to this Sunday's edition of News First Weekend, coming to you live from our News First studios in Colombo. I'm Arundhati Mudanayaka. Let's take a look at the stories making headlines this evening.
Railway trade unions call off strike action after discussions with the president. The loss over 3 days exceeds 80 million rupees. 400 estate houses constructed with Indian aid vested with the public. Joint opposition prepares to become independent in Parliament. Minister Field Marshal Fonseca speaks about the injustices that the party supporters face. NASA launches probe to go deep into the sun's scorching atmosphere.
Now the stories in detail. The railway trade unions have decided to call off their strike action after holding a discussion with the president.
The railway trade unions launched their strike action, alleging that the agreements that were reached by the Cabinet Subcommittee, headed by Dr. Saratha Munugama, were not fulfilled. They launched their strike action without prior notification on the 8th of this month. The trade union representatives of the railway engine drivers, guards, superintendents and controllers have called on President Maithripala Sirisena this morning in Polonnaruwa.
We held discussions for about 1.5 hours with the president. Taking all of the matters into consideration, the President instructed Ministers Dr. Saratha Munugama, Dr. Rajitha and Mangala to pay the salaries as approved. So after the decision was reached, we called off the strike action. We will need some time to restore the train services to normalcy. The general public will have a normal train service by tomorrow. They have met with His Excellency the President in Polonnaruwa. The President spoke to me and he said that he asked them to call off the strike action. They have decided to call it off based on the request made by the President. The strike was called off based on the decision that the cabinet paper will be reviewed within 3 months after it is presented. It was a good step to call off the strike action and hold discussions. There is some justice in the requests made by the railway engine drivers and others. They are not asking for a salary hike. They want a salary anomaly to be rectified. But launching strike actions for everything in the country is being opposed by the people. We will be able to run a considerable number of trains by tonight. We are hoping to function as usual starting from tomorrow. The railway department has lost a revenue of around 16 million rupees per day.
3 trains operated this afternoon from Colombo Fort to Negombo, Alutgama and Kurunegala. The railway department said that the mail trains will operate today.
400 houses constructed under Indian aid were handed over to the public in Pundaloya today by Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe.
The village constructed at the Dunsinan estate in Pundaloya has been named Mahatma Gandhi Puram. The event was attended by Ministers Navin Dissanayake, Gayantha Karunatilaka, Rauf Hakim and several other politicians. Indian High Commissioner to Sri Lanka Taranjit Singh Sandhu also attended the event. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi congratulated the beneficiaries of the housing project via a Skype message.
Brothers and sisters, when I spoke to you last year, I made some promises. First, that India will work for expanding the pre-hospital emergency ambulance service all over Sri Lanka. Last month, Prime Minister Wickremesinghe and I jointly flagged off in Jaffna the expansion of the emergency ambulance service all over Sri Lanka. Secondly, that we would start direct Air India flights from Colombo to Varanasi so that you can visit Varanasi with ease and seek the blessing of Lord Shiva. As you may be aware, Air India flights between Colombo and Varanasi started in August 20. In the plantation areas. Today, we are signing the agreement for the construction of this additional 10,000 houses at a cost of 12 billion Sri Lankan rupees. I am also happy that under the leadership of President Sirisena and Prime Minister Vikram Singhe, land has already been identified for building these houses in plantation areas. We have, out of our total commitment for 60,000 houses in Sri Lanka, completed close to 47,000 houses so far. And today, we are handing over the first lot of houses built in the plantation area under Indian assistance.
Today we declared open the Mahatma Gandhipuram village. This is a special village. The people in this village enjoy to the fullest the facilities enjoyed by the rest of the Sri Lankans. They have a village to live in. They have a plot of land for themselves. They have a home. They have water. You are true Sri Lankans. This is just the beginning. In the future we will create more villages like this. I have added a ground and a gym to the village. I will tell the minister to allocate the land.
The construction activities, the first phase of the Mathura-Katharagama railway line concluded today. The railway line was extended for 6 kilometers from Mathura to Kakanudura.
This railway line is considered to be the first project where new rail tracks were connected to a track that has been laid during the colonial era. The staff were able to finish laying the tracks at around 6 this morning after commencing work at around 8 last night. The new railway track will be connected to the existing Mathura-Katharagama railway track from near the Hakman railway crossing. This is what is going to happen tonight. There are approximately 150 staff members who are working for this. This is the first time where a new railway track is connected to an existing track. 150 Chinese laborers were present for this task.
Good evening, sir. This is our project from Mathura to Bilyata. And after 4 years hard workings together with our employee MOT, tonight we want to announce our first level crossing from DK0 plus 037 will be connected to our Mathura railway station and also to the new built railway stations. And this is the first milestone for our project, and I hope the new line will be complete also timely, and this is also the gift from our Chinese government to our Sri Lankan people. Thank you so much.
A group photograph was captured at the conclusion of the construction activities.
1, 2, 3, yeah.
The joint opposition says that they have drawn their attention to sit as independent MPs in Parliament.
The Speaker's response to the letter sent by a group of joint opposition MPs requesting the position of the opposition leader was that there is no constitutional or traditional provision to accept the joint opposition MPs as a separate party. We will fight to obtain the position of opposition leader to the joint opposition as MPs of the United People's Freedom Alliance. We will put forward a proposal to the party leaders meeting on Tuesday. We have decided to remove ourselves from the UPFA, become independent in Parliament with the 70 or 65 or 69 people and take legal actions to obtain the opposition leader's post. We will make our final decision on Tuesday. There is no opposition leader in India. They can't hold the opposition leader position if they don't have votes of 10% of the MPs. Even if we combine official opposition parties, the JVP and the TNA, you won't get at least 8% there. There is more than 31% of MPs in the joint opposition. If the next step is to become independent in Parliament, we will not hesitate to make that decision. Can I become independent a year after contesting for elections representing the UPFA or the SLFP? Maybe they can do that. They will contest for the next elections representing a party, and if they get elected to Parliament, they will just say that they are representing that party. The position of opposition leader will be given to a recognized party in Parliament. The joint opposition is not a recognized party. It is a gang. Opposition leader position will not be given to a gang. The Speaker's decision is correct. No one can go to courts against this decision. When Anura Bandara was the Speaker of Parliament, he made a decision saying no one can go to court opposing a decision made by the Speaker of Parliament.
Former President Mahinda Rajapaksa commented on the judicial system of the country when he met a group of lawyers in Ambalangada last evening. State Minister Ajit P. Perera responded to the statements made by the former president today.
This is the first time a court is being used for political vengeance. Certain cases are chosen in meetings held at the Ministry of Justice in the night. Rajitha Champika along with them recommend cases to the Attorney General. Then the Attorney General passes it on to the Chief Justice. The Attorney General sends the cases to the Chief Justice. See how chosen cases.
During
Mahinda Rajapaksa's era, they had one law and the others had a different set of laws. That's what he means by rule of law. There have been more than 120 investigations over black money and only 19 cases have been filed. Court hearings are postponed by 6 to 8 months. Some people are afraid of courts that take up cases on a daily basis. Some call it unfair, while some say it's for vengeance. When special high courts are established, the Attorney General and the Chief Justice decide about the cases independently. Mahinda Rajapaksa thinks the President's residence can affect these decisions like the old times. No, they cannot do that today. Do not mislead the people. Neither Rajitha nor Champika can influence court decisions and the cases. We will not let them do that.
In Kurunegala today, journalists questioned Minister Field Marshal Sarath Fonseca about the statement he made about his supporters being harassed even though he is a member of the government.
I have not come across anything to state something like that. But I'm of the opinion that the party has not gotten together to face these problems as one. Leaders of the party should work to safeguard those who are in the party. I don't see anyone trying to be united and solve these issues. Instead, they are pulling each other back. That's a weakness I see in the party.
Power purchases done through private power producers and officials of the CEB violating certain clauses of the Electricity Act have been highly criticised at the COP when representatives of the CEB and the PUCSL were summoned before it recently.
The Secretary to the Ministry of Power and Renewable Energy, Dr. Suren Batagoda, Chairman of the CEB WB Ganegala, General Manager of the CEB AK Samarasinghe and officials of the Generation and Transmission Unit of the CEB were summoned before COP to inquire details into power purchases. Attention of the COP was drawn towards this particular document sent out by the CEB to the PUCSL, which was of a hostile nature. As per the Electricity Act, the CEB should pay a regulatory cost of 50 million rupees annually to the PUCSL. However, as per the document sent out with the signature of the General Manager of the CEB, AK Samarasinghe, it said that this payment will only be done if the current Director General of the Public Utilities Commission of Sri Lanka resigns from that position. The Chairman of COP, Sunil Hadunhetti, had reiterated very strongly to the officials of the CEB not to violate the Electricity Act and function based on personal agendas. The COP also looked into the agreement of a private power plant in Ambilipitia being extended. The decade-long agreement reached to purchase power from the private power plant concluded in 2015. Public funds worth 3 billion rupees had been spent on the power plant. On the 5th of April 2018, the CEB has extended the agreement it had with the private power plant in Ambilipitia for another 3 years. 5.4 billion rupees will be invested for this purpose. As per the new agreement, the monthly amount spent on ACE Ambilipitia is 76 million rupees. Though the complete investment for the power plant was done by 2015, through the new agreement, it has been decided to repay the investment amount. It was questioned at COP as to how the CEB went into an agreement for 5.4 billion rupees when the complete power plant could have been purchased for the value of 2.3 billion rupees. Officials of the Power and Renewable Energy Ministry as well as the CEB are to be summoned before COP to further inquire about this particular agreement. Chairman of COPE, Sunil Hadunhetti, added that the recommendations of the committee will be presented before Parliament in the future.
The Ceylon today reported that the net foreign outflows from the government securities market increased to $263.74 million in the calendar year that ended last Wednesday.
The week ending on Wednesday has suffered a net foreign outflow of 5.5 billion rupees. The political instability in the country as well as the strengthening economy of USA has an impact on the NFOs increasing. The US Federal Reserve has increased their interest rates twice this year. The latest increase puts the federal funds rate in a range between 1.75 and 2%. The Fed previously nudged rates up in March.
Mainly due to these outflows, we have seen exchange rate has been affected during this year. Rupee has been devalued, and due to that, our main imports prices have increased. Due to these price increases or devaluation of the rupee has an impact on the inflation. Inflation has increased mainly due to increase of prices in goods, what we have seen during the last couple of months.
The net foreign outflows cause pressure on the rupee, giving a boost to inflation. Island-wide inflation, which had decelerated from 8.8% to 1.6% in April, has since accelerated to 2.5% by June.
Muslims will celebrate the Hajj festival on the 22nd of this month following the sighting of the moon. The announcement was made by the Colombo Grand Mosque this evening. A Dharma School building constructed under the Sasunataruna program at the Devuramveta Raja Mahavihara in Lunugambehera was declared open by Deputy Leader of the United National Party, Minister Sajith Premadasa.
51 buildings will be constructed for 51 Dharma schools in the Lunugambehera Divisional Secretariat in Hambantota under this program. The cost of the building, constructed with personal funding, was 2.5 million rupees. I wanted to declare open 51 Dharma schools for 51 temples to mark my 51st birthday. But the provincial council elections were going on at that time. It is saddening to say that the chairman of Elections Commission refused to grant permission to build Dharma schools for students studying under trees on my birthday. Police was able to hinder ceremonies held to lay foundation stone to these Dharma schools, but they were not able to capture people from different levels and positions who worked to steal votes by offering liquor bottles and biryani lunch packets. What is more important, building Dharma schools to children or strengthening political campaigns and promote drugs and alcohol? The public mandate was hidden behind the alcohol bottle. Is this going to be the fate of our country?
A heated debate arose during the electorate Palamandala meeting of the SLFP in Mavanala due to the arrival of a group of uninvited party representatives.
The Mavanala electorate Palamandala meeting of the SLFP took place today at a private hall in Mavanala. The event was held under the auspices of former Minister Athauda Seniviratna. A group of electorate organizers who arrived at the location while the meeting was progressing were not allowed to enter the hall. The provincial councillors who protested alleged that they have not received official invitations to attend the meeting. This is what transpired afterwards between the group and Vasantalal, who contested at the last provincial council election.
ගැටලු කාරණා කීපයක් තියෙනවා. ඒක ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ පක්ෂයේ ඒවා සමතයකට පත් කරගන්න තමයි අද ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ
This is not an electorate Balamandal meeting of the SLFP. When the General Secretary contacted me over the phone in the morning, I told him that I would be attending. When we arrived here, the gates are closed and they try to fight with us. Who is representing the media here? They convene the media and try to fight with us. The objective of this protest is for him to become deputy chairman and join with the Podujana Peramuna. He worked towards that. Mahinda Rajapaksa is good. We don't need a place for these thugs who are with Mahinda Rajapaksa here in Mavanella. I was the minister who brought him into politics. That was a mistake. We held 4 rounds of discussions with the flower bud.
The award ceremony of the INCO 2018 Industrial Exhibition organised by the Institution of Incorporated Engineers Sri Lanka was held last evening.
INCO 2018 exhibition organised for the 18th consecutive year was held at the BMICH in Colombo recently. The award ceremony was held in Burlasgamua last evening. I requested for 5 monitoring MPs for my ministry. The government should provide a vehicle for a monitoring MP. Even a ministry secretary gets 2 vehicles. They cannot operate without a vehicle. Can they? I can operate without a vehicle. I will use my helicopter. I will not obtain a single cent from the government. My ministry is supposed to have a cadre of 88. I have only 52. But the 52 have done a huge portion of work. They have done it together with the private sector companies. I do not expect anything from the government because I know the government can never do business.
A conference under the title Discussion on Humanitarian Governance was held in Kuruvita yesterday.
The central bank was always under the Ministry of Finance. For the first time it came under the Prime Minister. So far he has not said why he took the central bank under him. What was the reason? Then who became the head of the central bank? Since 1951 it was a Sri Lankan citizen who was appointed as governor of the central bank. For the first time in history, a Singaporean national was appointed as the governor of the central bank. The cabinet objected to this. Disregarding the opposition of the cabinet, this individual is appointed as the head of the central bank. That is number 2. Number 3, this deal takes place on Then Ranil says that there has been no fraud and takes measures to protect the governor. Thereafter, when the investigations on the governor are being conducted, he is allowed to escape to Singapore. It was Ranil who did all of this. Then this deal is Ranil's and no one else. Then the thievery is at the royal residence, the temple trees. That is the question.
Here are some views expressed by Vimal Veeravansa, the leader of the National Freedom Front, at a party representative meeting in Battaramulla yesterday.
If things continue like this, Mattala will be given to India along with the Kankasanture harbour and the Palale airport, while the Trincomalee harbour would be handed over to Japan, Singapore and India. The east wing of the Colombo harbour too will be given to India. Prime Minister Wickremesinghe goes to the Sigiriya rock fortress and the broker says that too should be given to India to develop it. He's that kind of a person. After allowing India to gobble up all this, the country cannot be rescued even if the reincarnation of King Dutugamunu takes place. This is the process of Sri Lanka becoming a sub-colony of India. Though the crown belongs to the king, the country belongs to the people. The country that belongs to the people is being sacrificed permanently by a group that holds on to the crown temporarily. We cannot remain silent about this.
Former Minister of Finance Ravi Kannanayake expressed the following views during a debate held in Parliament recently.
If we were to run the Ministry of Finance with the henchmen of Chandrika Kumaratunga, who created a negative economy for the first time, we will not be able to move forward but backwards. An individual of a particular company tried to take certain things from us. When I was with Lakshmanya Pabe Wardana, now since he is seated on a bigger chair, he now can provide everything he said he didn't want to give. ETI depositors are demanding for money. What is the central bank doing? They point fingers at others but not at themselves. Jehan Amaratunga has taken 10,800 million rupees from the People's Bank. Can he ask how that money was obtained? I tell the governor of the central bank that another minister has taken 4,000 million rupees. Can they ask how this money was obtained? The United National Party is waiting to see what benefits they get. The prices of the small vehicles were changed. Is that the problem? The trade balance is affected by BMWs, Benz and Range Rovers.
A very good evening to all our viewers. You are joining me as Rasana with the first. Let's now take a look at the weather forecast for the next few days. Strong winds and gusty winds can still be experienced across the island in coastal areas and in the central hills, especially in the sea areas of northwestern, western and southeastern parts of the country. Strong winds can again be experienced in the western, southern, Sabargamu and central provinces as well. Now during the next few days, showers can be experienced in the southwestern part of the country, and if you take a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow and day after, showers can be experienced in Jaffna, Putlam, Colombo, Gaul, Ratnapura and Kandy districts. Also on the 14th and the 15th of this month, the heavy showers can be experienced in the southwestern part of the country, and on the 15th especially, western, southern, Sabargamu and central hills areas will experience heavy showers. Let's now take a look at the weather forecast for Colombo for the next few days.
And in sports news, Sri Lanka beat South Africa by a thumping 178 runs in the fifth and final ODI to end the series on a high with 2 consecutive wins after going down in the first 3, handing over the series win to South Africa.